Hey everybody, it's Julie at thisbeautifulfarmlife.com, and today I am going to cut some of my sweet Genovese basil and make some fresh garden basil pesto. So one of the foods that our family just loves and depends on every year from our garden is our basil pesto. And I've always used sweet Genovese. There's lots of different kinds of basil, but this is the one that our family has just really loved the most. And so this is the one I do. I usually do a whole bed of it, and we usually get 3 to 4 different cuttings through the summer. We probably could get more, but that usually is enough for us, and that's all the time that we really have as a family to make pesto. So this is our second batch of pesto. And we just cut some the other day in this end of the bed, and this end of the bed has been fighting going to seed to bloom. It's been kind of warm here, and we've been busy over the 4th of July, and we haven't got it cut. So some of the tops of this already, you can see, has some little blooms coming, and I've been pinching them off as much as I can to hold them off from their bloom cycle, but they're really pushing. So it's time to get it cut and get it made into some pesto. So let's get started. So I just want to show you as I cut here. I don't cut them all the way to the ground because I want them to come back and we're going to cut them again. So I want to leave a few leaves at the bottom so it's not quite as shocking as it could be. And that way these will grow up and make nice new big leaves again soon. And we can cut this again in just a couple weeks. So you can see the bed. This is the side of the bed that I just cut, and this is the side of the bed that we cut just 5 days ago actually, and it's already growing back up quite a bit. We'll be able to cut this again in another week probably. Okay, so I like to do this in my food processor. This is just an old one I got from a yard sale, so you don't have to have anything fancy, but it does make the cutting up of the pesto so much faster. I don't know how you would ever do it in a blender. It'd be really hard to get it pressed down and come out. So I use my food processor. And the first thing you're going to do is put your 6 cups of pressed down garden fresh pesto leaves. And I take these from the garden, I pull them off. I just spin them in my salad spinner and get them all washed and clean, and it's a lot. So it's hard to fit it all in there, but you can. So now I've got my lid on. I'm going to add in some of the other things after I run that a little bit. So now I have a 1.5 cups of walnuts. You can also use pine nuts or almonds, and I've done all 3 with success at different times. So whatever you have on hand and whatever you like the best is fine. And then we use Romano cheese. You could use a Parmesan cheese. This is a Pecorino sheep cheese, and we really love the flavor of this cheese. So this is what we've been using the last few years. I buy it at Costco. If you have a Costco near you, you can look for it. And there's a 1.5 cups of this cheese as well. So I've got 6 cups of pressed basil, 1.5 cups of walnuts, and a 1.5 cups of cheese. And I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle my 1/2 teaspoon of salt over the top. Now I've got a little bit more basil. I'm going to try and tuck in here to get my 6 cups. And I'm going to drizzle this in as we go. Okay, it's pulled it mostly down in there. This is my little spatula that I'm always telling you about that I just love. I'll put a link for this little spatula below because I use it for everything. I buy them by the dozen, and it's a little stiff, really slim spatula. It fits in jars, fits in everything, and we just love them. So as I said before, we make several batches of this through the summer each time that the basil grows up tall enough to be harvested. So this is our second batch of pesto. I think they made 6 quarts of it the other day, and we just put it into quart-sized Ziploc freezer bags each recipe, and it's just enough to fit in there. And it seems to be just enough for a batch of pasta for our family, or the focaccia bread, whatever we're going to use it on, or a salad, a pasta salad. So that seems to work out for us. If your family is a little smaller than ours, you might need to divide this recipe in half for the freezer, but it seems to get used up pretty fast. Our kids love it just on garlic toast whenever I make einkorn, my artisan loaf bread that just goes overnight, that one that I've been talking about. This is really good on just warm bread. So we do this a lot. It's just the right size, and we put it in a quart-size Ziploc bag, and we freeze them. We're just now finishing last year's, so they keep really good for a whole year in your freezer as long as you have a manual defrost freezer. So if you're going to be storing anything in the freezer, make sure it's manual defrost and not frost free, because that will dry out and ruin anything you're trying to save in there for more than a couple months. All right, so we're just going to put this in a freezer bag. And there you go. So we just take these bags and lay them flat in the freezer, and that's how we store them. And they're really easy to quick to pull out. We can stick them in a bowl of warm water or something and have them thawed in just less than 15 minutes and ready to go for dinner or lunch or whatever we need them for. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you give this a try and just experiment with the different kinds of cheeses or nuts that you can use, and that you try it in all your recipes. It's delicious.